The New England Patriots didn't get the news they wanted on cornerback Christian Gonzalez, despite some evidence that the highly touted defensive back could finally be nearing a return. New England didn't even wait for the game day inactives list to rule out Gonzalez for a third straight week with a hamstring injury. The Patriots made the call on September 19th when they issued their final injury report of the week, ruling out Gonzalez for the Week 3 clash with the Pittsburgh Steelers at Gillette Stadium. Here is the full list of inactives for the Patriots. Assuming there was no sort of setback during the week, Gonzalez finally made some progress. He's been out since suffering the hamstring injury during training camp in July, but he did practice for the first time since this week. Gonzalez also spoke with reporters on September 17th, a sign that he might have been trending toward playing. That momentum came to a halt with a Friday afternoon announcement, and having Gonzalez in the mix would have been real helpful against Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and the rest of the Pittsburgh offense. Not counting Miami and Buffalo, who have already played in Week 3, only 3 teams in the conference have scored more points than Pittsburgh. The Patriots, meanwhile, haven't been very good on the defensive side of the ball through 2 weeks. Mike Vrabel's defense, despite some impressive return on pass rush investments, ranked 30th in defensive DVOA entering the week. The Dolphins are in a world of hurt through 3 weeks, but their Week 2 performance against New England was the best they've looked so far this season. Metcalf might be the biggest beneficiary of Gonzalez's absence after 2 quiet weeks to start his Steelers career. The New England Patriots have been extremely susceptible to the big play this season. Both the Las Vegas Raiders and Miami Dolphins were able to pick up huge chunk plays, throwing the ball with regularity against them. This week, the Pittsburgh Steelers will do the same thing, and it's Metcalf who will be making the big plays, Mark Morales-Smith predicted this week for SI.com. Aaron Rodgers returns to New England. It's a rare trip to New England for Rodgers, who is in his first season with the Steelers after 2 miserable years with the New York Jets. Rodgers made just 1 start at Gillette with the Jets, a rare Patriots win last season where New England rallied late to win 25-22. Rodgers had one of his best games as a Jet, completing 17 of 28 passes for 233 yards and 2 touchdowns. The 4-time MVP is 3-3 for his career against the Patriots with a 99.5 passer rating, the majority of those games coming with the Green Bay Packers opposite Bill Belichick. Rodgers could also make history in Week 3. He's tied with fellow Packers legend Brett Favre for 4th on the all-time passing touchdowns list with 508. Patriots-Steelers weather report. Perfection. Weather has been a factor in both of New England's first 2 games, with rain and fog soaking Foxborough, Massachusetts, in Week 1, and the Patriots dealing with a typically hot and humid afternoon in Miami last week. This week, it's a different story. Forecasts call for a picture-perfect New England day on the eve of the autumnal equinox. Weather forecast for Patriots-Steelers kickoff, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, CBS Perfection. 67 degrees, no precipitation, clear skies, winds around 5 miles per hour. Throwback Jersey Day. Patriots-Steelers view from the Sportsbook. The Steelers are slight 1.5-point road favorites at New England with a total currently set at 44.5 at FanDuel Sportsbook. The Patriots were favored in their season opener against Las Vegas, a game they lost by a touchdown, and that spread is the outlier in recent history. In fact, the Patriots were home underdogs in each of their 8 games at Gillette Stadium last season. New England has been getting points at home in now 17 of their last 22 home games. They're just 4-14-2 against the spread in their last 20 home games with 4 outright wins. Injuries are inevitable in the NFL, and they often are what shape the story of each season. Teams that would otherwise be powerhouses flame out, while good teams that stay healthy tend to make deep playoff pushes. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not immune to this fact, as they're already dealing with multiple injuries at key spots on their roster. Even the hottest team in the NFL currently, the Indianapolis Colts, finds itself in an injury predicament just 3 weeks into their season. Star nickel corner Kenny Moore too suffered a calf injury in their 41-20 drubbing of the Tennessee Titans, and he could miss several weeks. In response, the Colts turned to a familiar name for Steelers fans. Mike Hilton was signed to their practice squad Monday, and he is expected to be elevated to the active roster as early as Week 4. Former Pittsburgh Steeler Mike Hilton looks to replace Kenny Moore's impact for the Colts. It should be no surprise that the Colts turn to Hilton to replace Moore too. He is intimately familiar with defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo's scheme thanks to their 4 seasons together with the Cincinnati Bengals. Hilton was one of Anarumo's most consistent players during his time in Cincinnati, and he undoubtedly will be able to settle into the slot role for the Colts defense. Moore, too, is the superior player at this point, but Hilton still performed well in his age 30 season in 2024. Hilton wasn't able to crack the Miami Dolphins roster this summer, but that seemed more to do with the emergence of rookie Jason Marshall Jr. than his level of play. The former undrafted free agent is still a physical presence in run defense, even if his coverage ability has taken a step back. Depending on the severity of Moore's calf injury, he may even still be a contributor on defense when the Steelers face the Colts in Pittsburgh in Week 9. The Steelers are well acquainted with playing their former defensive back, but a strong performance against them may cause some regret about not trying to bring him home this offseason. Given the injuries to several of their defensive backs this season, it's fair to wonder if he should be back in Pittsburgh instead of Indianapolis. Here's hoping that doesn't look like a mistake by the time that matchup rolls around. Mike Vrabel was critical of running back Ramondre Stevenson's performance after the New England Patriots lost 21-14 to the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday afternoon. Stevenson stands out as one of the Patriots' key offensive players. However, he committed 2 fumbles that proved to be fatal once the final score became official. Vrabel reflected on the loss after the game, per reporter Mark Daniels. The head coach recognizes Stevenson's talent, having seen it in last week's win over the Miami Dolphins, but needs him to return to form following his errors in this matchup. We know what his capabilities are. We have to get him back. We need him. We absolutely need him, Vrabel said. He helped us win the game last week. It was a different story today. How Mike Vrabel, Patriots performed against Steelers. Ramondre Stevenson had 2 of the Patriots' 4 fumbles, making it more reasonable for Mike Vrabel to emphasize his message to the running back. Even though the turnovers ended any chance for New England to beat Pittsburgh, the team showed its potential to compete against solid opposing squads. They held the Steelers to 3 scores, even forcing Aaron Rodgers to throw an interception to start the second half. Drake May seems to be getting more comfortable in Vrabel's style of play, with Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator. He completed 28 passes out of 37 attempts for 268 yards and 2 touchdowns while making 7 rushes for 45 yards. Hunter Henry was the Patriots' receiver of the day with his strong display on the field, recording 8 receptions for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mac Hollins came next with 4 catches for 27 yards. Stevenson had 3 receptions for 38 yards, while Stephon Diggs caught 3 passes for 23 yards. The Patriots will look to bounce back in their next matchup, remaining at home. They host the Carolina Panthers on September 28 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.